cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Starbucks chief executive Kevin Johnson hopes to meet with the two black men arrested at one of its Philadelphia cafes last week to apologize for the incident, which has sparked accusations of racial profiling at the coffee chain. The men, who had not made a purchase, were handcuffed and arrested for trespassing on Thursday after a store manager called 911 and reported them for refusing to leave. Witnesses said the men were calmly sitting in the cafe. In a widely viewed video, some patrons asked police whether they were targeted because they were black. Police released the men, who were not charged with any crime. Johnson told ABC's Good Morning America on Monday, "The circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome in our store on Thursday were reprehensible. They were wrong." A Starbucks representative said the female manager who reported the men to police has left the company. Johnson, who was interviewed from Philadelphia, said it was completely inappropriate to engage the police. He added Starbucks would conduct training to prevent unconscious bias. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
After decades of searching the cosmos, today NASA announced that what it was really looking for was right here on planet Earth all along.
For years, we've foolishly chased after comets, moons, and stars. Outer space may be beautiful, but it's not as beautiful as the smile of a child, nor as sublime as a good bottle of wine shared among friends. Our search ends where it began, here on this big blue marble.
Astronomers say that while their telescopes were pointing at Mars, they never even noticed the planet that was right in front of them. NASA now plans to appreciate what they already have. The agency's latest report, entitled "Wonder is Everywhere: Finding the Beauty in the Everyday," calls for further study of the little things that truly give life meaning.
Warm rain on a summer day. The smell of pine trees, touching the worn paper of your favorite book. That's what's always made us happy. Not some asteroid a million miles away.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus Network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome here to a Tuesday. Oh, goodness gracious. Already. The Tuesday night edition or afternoon edition. Your drive home for crypto and political talk, the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live again from the Vertcoin studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And another beautiful day, man, around 40 degrees. Very, very happy, not freezing my butt off like I have been in the last couple of days. We got a snow yesterday.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, now, joined in studio today, I've got our tech guy, Mr. Chris Wade from Think Penguin. And live via remote, as usual, we've got Miss Chelsea Snyder from the Vora Method and Miss Aria Demezio from cryptocurrencycheck.org. So, how you guys doing today?
Pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
For tax day, anyway. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
right.
You got to take that down a couple notches.
It is tax tax day. That is correct. It is tax day. And you know what that means? Well, that means
I'm not doing them.
Right. I was just in an argument a moment ago about whether or not I should have to pay someone else to give my money to the government. But, my wife got really mad at me. We actually filed an extension because I just couldn't make myself pay somebody to give my money to the government. I just couldn't do it.
So much. Honestly, every year I want to file an extension. I'm just like, I don't want to. I don't want to do any of it.
My tax lady called me and she was like, "So your wife made $700 last year in like 1099 based income," and I was like, "Yeah, man."
Well, that's not enough to.
It is.
Yeah, that's
they lowered. Yeah, they lowered it. If you're if I work for a company, I have to make $10,000 or less. But if I work for me or as a contractor, a subcontractor, once I make $400,
are you serious?
I have to pay taxes.
In
a whole year, $400 in a whole year.
If you're not doing
and that's the new one. The old one was $700.
If you're not making at least like $5,000, it's not even worth it for them to come out. I would just ignore it if I was making that little.
No, I've spoke to.
What are they going to get from you?
What,
if you're
it's
making
like what,
$13?
What
are they going to take?
My wife.
What are they going to take? Are they going to take your car? You probably can't even afford a car if you're making $600 a year or $700 a year.
They'll fine my wife $300.
So what? They can find them. They can find her all she wants. If she's not making any money, there's nothing they can take from her.
True.
It's going to literally cost them. Well, sure, but taking her freedom is going to cost them money.
That's a pretty big deal.
She's here as a she was not a born here citizen. They'll revoke her citizenship eventually. Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah, that might be a problem.
Yeah, that's
and if they don't revoke her citizenship immediately, they will revoke her passport.
Does she have a green card or is
no,
she?
She's a citizen.
She's a citizen,
but they can revoke her citizenship. It's just one extra step of protection.
Bizarre.
But still, they can revoke her citizenship over committing a crime.
Just as recent laws have actually given them the ability to revoke anyone's citizenship.
They can now revoke my and your citizenship. It's just a little harder.
How can they? No, they can't. It's not even
Happy Tax Day. Yes, they can.
No, they can't.
It's in the NDAA.
It violates like
doesn't matter. It's in the NDAA. They can the whole like
no,
the
it's not constitutional and it violates international standards. You might be able to revoke a foreigner's citizenship, but you can't leave somebody without a citizenship.
So is the indefinite detention of American citizens. That's how they get to indefinitely detain you. They say, well, we've decided you're a terrorist, therefore you're no longer a citizen, therefore you no longer have rights, and here you go, here's a boat trip to Guantanamo where the Constitution doesn't even exist, and we'll now hold you indefinitely, but we're not holding an American citizen indefinitely.
The legality of it, though, is what I'm questioning. Not so much that they passed a law. Oh, I don't doubt they passed the law, right?
A couple laws,
but that doesn't necessarily make it legal. And I
haven't seen them try it yet. But we have extrajudicially assassinated 2 kids and an adult. So
overseas.
But still, I mean, they're American citizens.
Yeah. I think if you're in the United States, I think they're going to have a harder time trying to do something like that.
I don't believe.
Somebody's going to have to fight it, but they have to do it before until they've actually enforced it or tried to enforce it, I
mean, you're talking about a government that now says that we have secret evidence that we can't show the courts, but it shows that you're guilty, but we can't show the judge or the jury or anyone else because it's classified.
Well, let me express my outrage because regardless of what the courts rule, it's outrageous.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely outrageous. Happy Tax Day.
The idea that our politicians would even consider passing such a law, but then again, they don't even read the law. They don't even read the bills before they pass them.
Yeah, we have to pass them so that we can read them.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
We got to pass the bill to know what's in it. And that's budget bills now. That's Obamacare. That's everything. I mean, the Cloud Act, they literally tacked it on to the end of the budget. It has nothing to do with the budget whatsoever. It's it's like a spyware bill. It has nothing to do with the budget whatsoever. But, if you don't vote for the budget, then you hate America and puppy dogs and milk for babies and kittens. So, it's just the way things are now. Wow. Again, happy Tax Day. And basically, if you haven't got the idea yet, most of the first half of the show is basically going to be us talking about what is it that you hate the fact that you're robbed to pay for, because all of us are robbed. Even if you don't, and because we said this a couple weeks ago, when tax day, when the last day to pay taxes, when extortion, and when we got to extortion day, we were going to have a discussion of what are the things that you hate paying taxes because of. Why?
Roads.
What is it?
Political prisoners.
What is the one thing that if you could say, you know what?
I'm serious. Roads, without a doubt.
If you're stealing, if you're going to steal from me, don't use my money to pay for this. What's that one thing? What's the thing that you are robbed? And it's not just if you're paying a tax bill today. It's every day of your life. It's
every single day.
If you consume in the United States, you pay federal taxes in some way. Even if all you're doing is eating vegetables from a grocery store, those vegetables got to the grocery store via a truck that had gas in it, and that gas, the price of that gas is figured into the cost of those vegetables, and in the price of that gas is a 9% federal tax. So there is literally no way for you to get away from feeding the federal Leviathan if you consume anything that you don't create yourself. And even then, most of the parts
you're still
require.
What land are you making stuff on?
Because your own apples.
You still got to pay property taxes.
Exactly.
On that land.
Exactly. But that's state money, though. That's not federal money, at least. But
true.
And I don't think the state of New Hampshire is paying for Lockheed Martin's bill for all of the Hellfire missiles that the United States drops in a year. So I mean, I don't like paying state taxes, but if I have to pay taxes, like I was saying yesterday, if I have to be given the choice between paying money to foreign countries that love to warmonger, or paying money to Lockheed Martin, basically a welfare check every year, or the lazy asshole that sits on his couch and eats Funyuns and plays Halo all day. I mean, if I absolutely have to be robbed at gunpoint to pay for something, I really would rather pay for the lazy bastard than dropping Hellfire missiles on 6-year-olds.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one.
So what about you? What would you not like your tax dollars to go to? What are you the most outraged about? Give us a call, 603-283-6160.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what? Let me suggest you come up here and visit our beautiful little crypto community. You see, we've got a great opportunity for you to do so coming up in just a little while. You can join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and activists, and other libertarians this summer from June 14th through June the 18th for ForkFest 2018. That's at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Now, ForkFest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and you're invited to come create whatever experience you'd like others to have. ForkFest is completely decentralized, and that means nobody's in charge, so everyone's in charge. It's completely up to you to create what happens. Or you can simply grab a cooler, kick back on a lawn chair with a tent and a campfire, and, well, just relax in the woods with some fellow liberty lovers. Head on over to forkfest.party to learn some more. You can join our Telegram chat group or the forum there. Again, that's forkfest.party. Come hang out with some LRN cast members from multiple shows.
Oh, yeah.
And, like I said, there's no tickets. All you have to do is pay for your lodgings, and you can help create the event itself. You can set up speaking events. You could throw a rave one night. You could set up some kids' events. It's all up to you. So come out and see us. Again, June the 14th through the 18th for ForkFest. Now, we were asking the question, what's the thing that you're paying? Because today's tax day. Happy extortion day. Happy government theft day to all of our listeners. And, we wanted to know, what is the thing that you are forced to pay for out of your taxes that you hate the most? Is it war? Is it police? Is it the roads? Let us know. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. That's 603. Blah! My mouth is not working today. 603-283-6160. 603-283-6160. Or you can hit us at discord.lrn.fm in our Discord call-in line. Or you can call us on Skype at lrn.fm studio. So, are there going to be cats, right? I don't know.
In the interim, Aria is going to tell us why she hates paying for roads so much.
For real, Aria. Now,
Yes.
I've asked what it is, the thing that you hate the most. And our first caller isn't a caller, it's Aria. And Aria, you say you just hate roads.
No, I don't hate roads. I hate the government paying for roads, and I hate hearing the argument, but who will pay for the roads? So the two things are kind of linked. So if the government stopped paying for roads, obviously we would still have roads. And it would take 20 seconds of these idiots thinking about it to realize that. But no, they're obsessed with this idea that only the government can create roads because, as I've talked about before, once the government starts doing something, it becomes just completely incomprehensible to these statist morons that it could ever be done any other way.
As soon as we started letting the government teach kids to read, now all of a sudden, if kids don't go to if public school's not there, kids aren't going to know how to read. Nobody on earth knew how to read before American Western standard, what's it called? Coercive schooling? Isn't that the word? Coercive schooling?
Government indoctrination centers?
Huh?
Yes, definitely government indoctrination.
Yeah. Well, no, like there's a word for it. It's not coerced. It's
well, they are.
Mandatory, mandatory education. Yeah, mandatory schooling.
Do you ever see what happens if a kid refuses to go to school? And
yeah, they either go to jail, depending on how old they are, or the parent goes to jail.
Yeah,
or both.
Yeah.
Where I live, the kid goes first, unless they can, attribute it to the parent. And for some reason, I've noticed that rule is only enforced on some
let me
kids.
guess, boys?
No. On some kids.
Oh, is it minorities?
No. Like my daughter almost never went to school. The one that lives with my oldest daughter, she almost never went to school.
Yeah.
Her mother just didn't care enough to make her go or have her go or take her or, she was usually too tweaked out of her mind and didn't want to let me have custody. So, and neither did the courts because Florida sucks. But they really didn't enforce that law for her. I have a sister who's got 3 kids that almost never went to school. And it was almost like the state was like, you know what? These kids are going to be in prison as soon as they turn 18 anyway. So, why make them go to school? Because it's almost like there are certain families that they're like, well, they're just white trash, so it's okay. But if you're a middle-class family and your kid skips school like 4 days in a row, they'll come and throw soccer mom in jail.
You know what I noticed was that not even just in the U.S., but certain other countries, if you don't register your kid for school, they actually don't even know that you have a kid that's supposed to be in school.
Often, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know somebody who's done a lot of traveling, to say the least, and he's got a girl who's getting older, and nobody's ever tried to,
come after him.
Yeah, come after him or the girl or anything. And he's not registered with any governments or anything as far as I'm educating her myself or anything of that nature. Maybe it'll happen at some point, but I'm kind of doubtful because they just don't keep track of this stuff. You have to tell them, you have to register your kid, and then all of a sudden they know to come after, you and your kid for not sending the kid to school or the kid refusing to go or whatever.
Right. What about you, Chelsea? What's the one thing that your taxes are spent on that if you could say, you know what, on this itemized bill and what the government pays for, I don't want my money to go here?
Well, definitely it's going to be Social Security, obviously, right? All the big ones, right? So more Social Security.
We're libertarians, so that automatically means that we want grandmothers to eat cat food.
Yeah, no, yeah. Seriously though,
because it's a dangerous.
It might be better. It might be healthier in some cases compared to what humans are eating.
For real. Gosh, no kidding.
I'm telling you, have you ever noticed that the same food truck that delivers to your Applebee's and your Olive Garden also delivers to the elementary school and the hospital? It's all Cisco.
Yeah,
It's all Cisco, bro.
I don't even want to know about
That's
this.
why I don't eat it all. Like when me and my wife got married, she was like, "Oh, Olive Garden," da, 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 da. And I was like, "I worked at Olive Garden for over a year. I used to unpack their trucks. I also worked at a hospital for about 2 years, and I also unpacked their trucks. And it's the same food.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like I also worked at the jail when I was in jail for 4 months. It's the same truck. So like Olive Garden is feeding you the same stuff they're feeding the inmates.
No, they just make it look fancier. They put it on a bigger plate, and then it looks real fancy.
I have to
Don't
say,
worry.
I am not a fan of Olive Garden and never have been.
Every restaurant does it. All the restaurants.
I don't
it all
doubt
comes
it.
from the same place.
I don't
want to
know.
Like $60 a plate. Ugh. All right. Well, when we get back, we're going to continue talking about all the things that you hate your money being spent on to celebrate today's tax day. When we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So, in honor of government extortion, theft, whatever you want to call it day, America Should Revolt Day, whatever you want to call it, in honor of that, we are discussing what are those things America steals your money to pay for that you, if the IRS would send you an itemized tax bill and said, look, you get to choose one thing on this bill that we will not spend your tax money on, what would it be? What is the one thing? I want to hear libertarians on the record as to what is the one thing that you would cut out if you could not have to pay for it. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. Again, it's 603-283-6160. Or you can hit us on our Discord call-in line at discord.lrn.fm or at the LRN.FM studio line on Skype. So we were talking about you, Chelsea. What was your one thing?
Yeah, so Social Security, I think, is a really big ticket item in the war, and there's all the big ones. But I will say that in terms of just, like, the thing that makes me physically sick to my stomach every day, the biggest one's going to be education, because that's what I do all the time. And I see the effects of these kids who are made miserable, who are driven to, mental disorders, who become just absolutely shells of human beings because of this indoctrination system that we have. And so, I know that we talked about that a little bit, but that is really kind of my end-all, do-all. And realistically, I mean, if we stop indoctrinating people to love the government, maybe they'll just, logically stop doing it, and then we won't have maybe some of the other issues as well.
Good luck.
That'd be pretty great. But,
What about you, Chris? What's your one thing? If you could just look at your tax bill.
I would say either political prisoners or probably fees for, traveling. I can't stand the fact that the government extracts money from me. And I'm not talking about, gas taxes. I'm talking about the fee that you pay to get a license and or the license itself, period. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous when we're supposed to have this right to travel, that the government can come in and say, oh, but we can take that right away, or you need permission, essentially, when, wait a minute, no, it's supposed to be a right. And then the Supreme Court even ruled, oh, it's not a right, it's a privilege. That's bullshit. That's not it's not the way the world's supposed to work. We had the rights prior to the United States' founding, and all they were I'm trying to think the word. What were they? Enumerated. They were recognized.
Yes.
So the idea that now the government can come in and take them away from us, I don't know. I just think that's ridiculous.
What's that new Roosevelt, that FDR understanding that it was literally the exact opposite of Jefferson. Jefferson's view being that anything that the Constitution didn't specifically give government the permission to do, it wasn't allowed to do. And the new post-New Deal, and this was because Roosevelt literally built a Supreme Court that gave him anything that basically interpreted the Constitution the way he wanted it interpreted, including making it okay to intern Japanese American citizens, by the way.
Right.
And use census data to do so illegally. Was that anything that the Constitution doesn't specifically say the government can't do, it can, which basically is everything. The government can't do very few things. And it basically, if the Constitution doesn't specifically say government can't do this, then government can.
Yeah.
It's literally an exact opposite interpretation of what the founders intended.
Yeah.
That's where the whole living Constitution comes from.
The other thing that really bothers me is the political prisoner, situation where we basically are incarcerated.
Ulbricht.
Yes, that's exactly what came to mind, right? Immediately was Ross Ulbricht. We put people in prison and we're paying and it's not even to I don't know, help these people get over a problem. It's the whole objective is to send a no, it's not even punitive. It's to send a message to everybody else.
Yeah.
So there's these absolutely ridiculous sentences and there's literally no value in it. There's nothing to be gained. It's just it's pure evil.
Yeah.
And then they want us to pay for it.
It doesn't particularly people in desperate situations do desperate things, period. It doesn't just oh well, the guy who probably wasn't going to do it anyway is deterred from doing something he more than likely wasn't going to really do anyway.
People don't think about when people are committing crimes, they don't usually think about the crime they're about to commit. What's the penalty for it? What's the repercussion? They do it.
Half the time they don't even think it's a crime.
Right, exactly. And you know what? Most of the and the crazy thing is we're all committing crimes every single day. What is it? Three felonies a day, right? I mean,
and businesses it's even more.
There's so many felonies and just so many laws on the books. You can't comply even if you want to, because often the laws are even conflicting with each other. So one law says you have to drive on the left side of the street, while the other law says you have to drive on the right side of the street. So either side of the street that you drive on, you're still breaking the law.
Yeah.
It's like
breaking the law. Hopefully we don't get edited for me doing that.
Actually, it kind of sounded like you were saying breaking the law, so.
Yeah, it's the name of a song by Judas Priest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
wait, why would we get edited for that?
Well, because I said it the way that it sounds in the song, and Twitch and YouTube have become super touchy about intellectual property laws.
I don't even want to
Didn't Rob Halford die a year and a half ago? So now it's not even whether or not he's cool. That's the worst part. Is you can have an artist that's really cool, and once all the members of Grateful Dead are dead, then it will be the estate of the Grateful Dead that decides whether or not and a lot of times people that aren't okay with IP laws, their stuff ends up locked behind this paywall because their estate decided to do it.
Right. What's always amazing about IP is the whole argument was it was supposed to be a limited. They seem to forgot the limited part. A limited monopoly to promote the arts and science for the public good. That's how it was sold, and that limited period was 7 years. So we've gone from 7 years to over 100. So basically, nothing will ever fall into the public domain.
Yeah, it can be renewed too.
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah.
Disney is
the biggest
Disney
one.
owns stories that have been passed down from generation to generation
that they didn't even write
for hundreds of years.
A lot of the content that Disney has, though, was actually
taken from the public
predecessor.
Space.
Right, it was taken from the public space essentially,
and then filed
and then
IP and protected.
Right. Yeah.
So there's actually a documentary called How Disney Killed Your Childhood, and it literally talks about how Disney went and copyrighted all of the stuff from all these older people who lived before Disney and before the time of Disney cartoons in the 40s and the 50s. Their childhood has all been copyrighted.
Well, at least you can still spend $20 to $30 to buy the Platinum Gold Sparkly Edition every time they come out with one after they've locked the stupid thing in the vault and not allowed you to access it for 3 years.
My mom took a video of my niece at my sister's wedding singing Let It Go, and they blocked her from the ability to upload videos to Facebook anymore.
Are you serious?
Because of the intellectual property. Yes. My niece, my 2-year-old niece singing Let It Go at a wedding.
That's messed up. And also bad PR. That doesn't even make any sense.
It's horrible.
It's just like Happy Birthday.
Yep. Another thing.
Yep.
You are paying for. Happy Tax Day. We'll be back here in just a moment on the Call to Freedom.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And I'm joined live via remote by Miss Chelsea Snyder from the Vora Method and Miss Aria DiMezzo from cryptocurrencycheck.org, the queen of crypto herself. And then we've also got our tech guy in studio with me here, Mr. Chris Wade from Think Penguin. Chris, let me get a website for Think Penguin.
www.thinkpenguin.com.
There you go. And if you want to get a computer that is just balls to the wall, security enabled, you don't want nobody looking at nothing that you do, then you need to call these guys. Go to the website, spend a little loot. You guys take crypto too, don't you?
We do. We take Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin, and if you email us, we'll also do Dash.
Woohoo! There you go. So, head on over there to Think Penguin and get yourself set up. So we've been talking today about, well, what is it that you hate the most that your money is spent on after it's been stolen from you? But before Chelsea leaves, because Chelsea never gets to get in on the funny stories, I've got this article from the Daily Caller here that is absolutely hilarious. Go. I want to read this without having to pay you. Thank you. All right. So the Daily Caller puts an article out today. It's really funny. It's written by somebody named Nirmal Das. I've never heard of this person before, and Nirmal is like a Hindu Indian name usually. So he also has a PhD in critical theory. So definitely not an expert on anything to do with language, at least. And the title itself, the title is what caught my eye because, there's dumb things to say, and then there's the title and the contents of this article. The title is, "Here is the unbelievably dumb reason fancy pants leftists changed Muslims to Muslims." So says here, in an age of labels and having the right ones is crucial to winning the many battles being waged, politically, culturally, and rhetorically. The control of language, now labeled as free speech and hate speech, has become just another process in acquiring and holding of power. Those who control language control the mind. A case in point, it was decided by literary culture that the practitioners of Islam were Muslims, and to call them Muslims was offensive, derogatory, or even wrong. Okay, so,
what's your perspective?
Well, I actually understand.
Considering,
yes, right. So here's the deal. The Arabic language has these things. They're called letters, and they have these things called sounds. Now,
no way.
To say Muslims requires you to use a fatha, which is a vowel connotation that gives you that sound, and a za, the z sound, za. Well, when you look at the word Muslim and how it's spelled, it doesn't use a fatha or a kasra or it uses a dhamma, and a dhamma is the sound. Muslim. It's a U sound. Also, there is no za in the word Muslim. It's a sod, which is specifically for the hard s sound. Because there's also a sheen for the sh sound as well, a letter for that sound. So the vowel and consonant is U and S. Dhamma, U sound.
I assume you're pausing because this is as retarded to read as it is to listen to?
No. I'm explaining it as it actually is because this idiot has said that Muslim has been thrown into the dustbin of history, even suggesting without any real basis in fact that Muslim comes across as meaning evil in Arabic. Needless to say, this is smoke and mirrors. The Muslim-Moslem duality is in reality the codification of unfounded rumor, derived from unfamiliarity with the history of how English acquired words of Eastern origin. So, phrenology, etymology, the letters that actually, none of that is what is at play here, according to the author. What really is at play here is a spooky, evil, cultural Marxist effort to change language. What? Like, seriously. I mean, I'm not joking. Like, this is how many share this? It's a popular story too. That's the sad part. Is people are sharing this, man. People are passing this around. Let's see some comments. People 130 comments.
Where's the story? What's the source?
The Daily Caller.
Well, how much do you know about Persian?
Persian? Not very much.
Is it okay? Because I think that he is like trying to suggest that like the origination of it was in Persian, and then when it got shifted to Arabic, like it was changed or something. Then when it came to English, that's why we have this misunderstanding, because we got it either from the Persian instead of the Arabic, maybe.
So basically, what he's saying is that a religion based on a book that's written in Arabic actually has a Persian. Wait, what? Again, what? So the Arab lands and Arab religion uses a Persian title, and that it's Arabization of a religion built around the Arabic language.
Yeah, that actually
that is making people say this word that appears in the Quran over and over again, spelled the same way with no fatha and no zal. Again, we're back to you speak Hindi and English, bro. You don't have he's a university professor specializing in the early and high Middle Ages. Translation: he's a pro-crusader polemic.
Well, but so
Who
I
is
mean,
now saying no.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is it cultural Marxism that the English say mom and we say ma'am? Because it seems like that should be worked in there somewhere as well.
Right.
I mean, God forbid a word's pronunciation and spelling changed. It's the end of the world. It's leftists taking over language. It's Orwellian. It's 1984. It's Newspeak. Clearly.
It says here, the earliest occurrence of the term Muslim is in the first translation of Arabian Nights in 1841.
No. This is the best.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So when the word Muslim and Muslimin are used over and over and over and over in the Quran, as a matter of fact, the dua that you say before the khutbah, it's called the khutbah al-haja. The word Muslim is in the very first statement. It tells you, do not die except for as Muslims in a state of al-Islam, in a state of submission. So this word that never appeared before 1841 somehow made its way into a book that was written in the 600s or late 600s, early 700s. How do these people get a job? How do you get a job as a university
the glory
professor?
Of the university system.
And he's also got a job as a writer for Daily Caller, as an expert. How do you...
Well, I mean, that's pretty easy to do.
Very true. Very true. Anyway. All right, so
You just have to say Muslims are Satanists enough times, and they give you a job.
Right off the bat. Anyway, in just a little while when we get back, it's going to be time for the Crypto Hour, and we have got some news coming from Verge. So stick around. We'll be right back.
But I would slave.
For the past several years now, area woman Caitlin Mooney has been convinced that each and every one of her friends should be a professional comedian. Our reporters spoke to Caitlin this morning about her, quote, hilarious group of friends.
Karen is so funny. Like, I can't even explain it. She's always just saying whatever on her mind. She has this totally sassy attitude. You just can't help but laugh. My roommate Rashmi, she always has these hilarious stories that, they're just too much. I'm always telling her that she should just go up on stage and talk. Everyone would love it.
Mooney went on to say that her good friend Lauren is so funny she could, quote, definitely be on Saturday Night Live or The Office, a sentiment she echoed about a number of her other acquaintances, including her childhood friend Marcia, her college roommate Angela, her coworker Julie, and even her sister Jennifer.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, April 17th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,343 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,131. Antiwar.com reports expectations that the inspectors from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons would enter Douma on Monday, but this did not happen. Exactly why is a matter of serious contention. British Prime Minister Theresa May is claiming the Russians blocked the OPCW, saying that Russia and Syria are not cooperating. The Russians and Syrians are both denying this. Russia says the UN ordered the visit stopped for security reasons, and Syrian officials say they've been meeting with the OPCW delegation. It's not totally clear what is happening. The UN Security Council already rejected a resolution calling for an investigation, but it's not clear that they can stop the OPCW visit. At the same time, Syria and Russia have supported it from the start, anticipating it would discredit the Western allegations of a chemical attack. The US seems to be anticipating the OPCW probe not going anywhere and is already accusing Syria and Russia of plotting to tamper with the site. There's no evidence of tampering of any kind. The US suggestion was based on the fact that Russian military police had visited the site. The visit, however, was done days ago, and Russia said it was meant to deter the West from attacking Douma and destroying evidence. The US, France, and Britain appear to have little reason to want the OPCW visit to be successful. They already used the alleged attack as pretext for a strike against Syria on Friday, so clearly they weren't interested in getting the facts before striking. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Environmental Protection Agency removed 2 sites from its priority cleanup list on Monday, including a toxic sludge pit flooded by Hurricane Harvey. The EPA removed the San Jacinto River waste pits in Houston, Texas, and the Anaconda copper mines in Lyon County, Montana from its emphasis list of Superfund sites, stating both sites have reached specific milestones in their cleanup programs. EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt said, "We are making tremendous progress expediting sites through the entire Superfund remediation process. The updated emphasis list reflects our commitment to addressing Superfund sites as quickly and safely as possible. The removal from the list of the San Jacinto River waste pits comes a week after the EPA reached an agreement with the two companies responsible for the waste to conduct a remedial design for the site, which is estimated to take 29 months to complete. In October, the EPA determined there was erosion of the river bottom up to 12 feet deep near the cap of the San Jacinto River waste pit Superfund site following Hurricane Harvey. The EPA also added 3 new sites: Casmalia Resources in California, Delaware Sand and Gravel Landfill in Delaware, and St. Regis Paper Company in Minnesota to the list to spur action on cleanup and redevelopment efforts. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Starbucks chief executive Kevin Johnson hopes to meet with the 2 black men arrested at one of its Philadelphia cafes last week to apologize for the incident, which has sparked accusations of racial profiling at the coffee chain. The men, who had not made a purchase, were handcuffed and arrested for trespassing on Thursday after a store manager called 911 and reported them for refusing to leave. Witnesses said the men were calmly sitting in the cafe. In a widely viewed video, some patrons asked police whether they were targeted because they were black. Police released the men, who were not charged with any crime. Johnson told ABC's Good Morning America on Monday, "The circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome in our store on Thursday were reprehensible. They were wrong." A Starbucks representative said the female manager who reported the men to police has left the company. Johnson, who was interviewed from Philadelphia, said it was completely inappropriate to engage the police. He added Starbucks would conduct training to prevent unconscious bias. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
It's The Onion Radio News. An area man doesn't know what to do with all the extra ketchup packets. This is Doyle Redland reporting. After finishing his Big Bacon Classic combo, Erie, Pennsylvania resident and Wendy's patron Don Turnby, 38, expressed uncertainty today regarding what to do with all the extra ketchup packets. Turnby had asked for extra ketchup upon placing his order for a ketchup-necessitating Biggie fries.
Well, I knew it was too many ketchups because I usually only need 3 or 4 for my Biggie fries, but I just took them anyway.
At his nearby home, the Turnby pantry is crammed with hundreds of other restaurant condiments, including single-serving packets of Taco Bell mild sauce, Arby's horsey sauce, soy sauce, McDonald's Chicken McNuggets hot mustard sauce, pats of shed spread country crock from Ponderosa Steakhouse, and a selection of Smucker's jellies and jams from several area diners. Doyle Redland for The Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. On the Call to Freedom.
All right, that's right. It's time for the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. I'm your host, as always, Will Coley, joined in studio by our tech guy, Mr. Chris Wade from ThinkPenguin.com, and we've got Miss Aria DiMezzo from CryptocurrencyCheck.org, the queen of crypto herself, with us today as well. And, well, folks, we were talking about it last week. We brought up Verge quite a few times, and well, it turns out the news, the selling of the news, well, it's all done. It's all over at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Verge finally made its big announcements. Stormy Daniels, that's right, Stormy Daniels will now be giving dates. The only crypto she'll take for dates exclusively is Verge. No, that's not the big announcement. That's just one of the sexual industry related announcements that came out today. The big announcement, well, another porn industry giant will also be accepting Verge as the only mode of crypto payment that they offer, Pornhub.
Oh, interesting.
Who pays for Pornhub?
I was wondering the same thing.
Yeah, isn't that free? Like, I mean, isn't that like a free thing that they offer? I mean, you're not really their customer. I mean, somebody else is their customer, and you're their. Where am I going with this?
They have a members only section, but
man. I don't watch porn, so I couldn't tell you. Says
okay.
Verge's XVG token is witnessing a classic sell the news trade. Privacy-focused token ran into offers after the news hit the wires at 10 o'clock that Pornhub, the biggest website in the porn industry, would accept Verge as a mode of payment, officially putting an end to rumors of a breakthrough partnership that have been in the air since late March. Developers had been doing their best to fan the flames, billing the announcement as one of the biggest cryptocurrency collaborations to ever hit the market. Investors responded by pouring money into Verge by the rumor, pushing it higher by more than 300% in the last 2 weeks. And now that the partnership is officially confirmed, however, the token is taking a bit of a hit, possibly due to profit taking. Sell the fact, or sell the lead. Buy the rumor, sell the lead. As of writing, XVG is changing hands at 7 cents on Bittrex, down 30% from the intraday highs. The price chart analysis indicates the rally from March 18th's low of 0.0023 cents and has topped out, and XVG risks bearish reversals. Looking at my own wallet here, I see that this, Verge has come back some since the writing of this story. It has recovered to 8 cents, which means that the actual loss, wow, there was a 12-cent high today. I didn't see that. I must have not been paying attention when that happened before the news hit, evidently. I don't understand how, though, because I was up at 9 o'clock and looking just in case the news had already come out. And it was still trading around 8 or 9 cents. So at least from what I see in my own wallet, Verge dropped a penny. So not a, I mean, it's a little over it. It went from 9 to 8. So that's a little more than 10%. But I mean, really, like, henny penny, the sky is falling, like, it's not worth a story. For me, a penny drop. The
more interesting part of this story is Pornhub's accepting cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I mean, why accept any currency?
Yeah, is there a reason behind this?
All right, I'm glad that we have.
Hey, I'm also in big support of everybody taking cryptocurrency, but I just have to wonder, like, did the government do something? Or, I mean, obviously the government's doing the Backpage thing and trying to basically criminalize all porn on the internet, but.
Become a Pornhub model. The live, where you like watch sex happening live, all that stuff.
Yeah, webcam girls or whatever.
You have to pay for that.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't aware that was something that they offered.
So now, you have porn stars. You have the normal live cams. You can do an e-date with Stormy Daniels. I mean, there's.
So I guess basically Playboy died, but porn didn't. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And see, I'm so glad that I'm on the air, so that when that shows up in my internet history in a couple of days, my wife is like, "Why were you at Pornhub?" I can be like, "Well, I mean, I was on the air looking for why they would have to be
There's
charging.
a reason that they invented the private browsing tab. It's
right
so that you don't have that, and it doesn't look like you cleared your history.
Yeah. Well, actually, she just cleared the history not long ago. So now, as soon as she types a P in to go to Pandora, the first thing that's going to pop up is going to be Pornhub.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Anyway, I'm just glad that I can now play this for her when she's like, why the hell is Pornhub in our history? And I can be like, I was literally on the air trying to figure out why would they be charging for porn that everybody that I was on the air with thought was free.
I'm so glad
But I mean,
really
on the subject
don't
of
care.
all of this, it's all well and good. It's a good development for Verge, but someone, in the cryptocurrency industry really needs to be working on putting a back page type thing on the blockchain so that we can have this type of sex services being sold above the board using cryptocurrencies in a safe and reliable way without the government being able to come in and shut it down. So, I mean, this is a step in a right direction.
Well, yeah, now you can do a virtual date with Stormy Daniels and you can pay for it with Verge, or you can do a virtual date with a whole
Actually, I'd
host
say
of-
it's like a 45-degree angle to the right direction.
Yeah. It's part way there.
Yeah.
So you can do you can do all these things in the virtual space, but the actual being allowed to do these things in the physical space, that is still heavily criminalized.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because we kind of have sort of similar kind of stuff going on. So we got OpenBazaar. I don't know where that has gone since 1.0. Obviously, it wasn't.
I've not heard anything about OpenBazaar that made me feel like it was a good place to do anything that you might have to worry about the prying eyes of the state that want to arrest people.
Yes. But the blockchain in and of itself does not do that either. So if your objective is privacy, then that's not
OpenBazaar
really
is
what
basically a dark web website that's not on the dark web.
It
So that means-
it decentralizes it, so they can't shut you down easily unless they physically come in and take your whatever.
Exactly.
But that doesn't. I don't know.
And if you're hooking, you got to give phone numbers.
So
that gives access to physical where you are.
Well, wait, what?
If you are running an escort service, you're going to need to give a phone number. And a phone number is going to give some kind of a paper trail to track you down physically.
Yeah.
If
Right.
they decide they're going to do a sting, then OpenBazaar's not going to be a safe place.
Yeah, but what is? I mean, how are you going to?
Well, that's what Ari is saying. We should stop focusing on how to get Verge and Bitcoin so that people can go buy porno with it, and start focusing on how can we provide actual sex services. I mean, I don't think that prostitution is a thing you should do, but I acknowledge the fact that it exists. It's not going away, and at the very least, allow these girls to do it in a manner where they control their own money, they control the customers, and they can do it in a safe manner.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com. Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, on the call to freedom on LRN.FM. أنتم تستمعون إلى The Crypto Hour. يقدم إليكم برعاية Helium.com على برنامج نداء للحرية على LRN.FM.
Here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, it is the Crypto Hour. And, well, I was wondering, are you new to the crypto space? Are you want to get bought in, but you don't have the time to sit around and read candle graphs all day? Well, let me introduce you to Helium.com. Now, Helium is a savings accelerator, and it's powered by Uphold.com. And what they've done is they've created a bot, and what it does is, well, it watches the values between regular fiats and cryptocurrencies, and then it moves your money when the timing is just right. You charge the account up using a bank card or a crypto wallet, and then you just set it and forget it. It's like a crock pot for cryptocurrency. It's completely automatic. That's because Helium lets your money move you. So go on over to helium.com/CTF. That's HELEUM.com/CTF and get a thank you for being a Call to Freedom listener. So we've we're in Crypto Hour here. We were talking about the whole thing with Verge, and the creation of a possible blockchain-based effort to like a blockchain back page, and that is a perfect segue into what we were actually going to talk about next, which is Backpage itself. It turns out that there's no honor among CEOs. Backpage plea to Texas sex trafficking charge turns on CEO's admission to brokering adult prostitution. The Backpage CEO, Carl Ferrer, turned over the company and 7 other executives in exchange for leniency. So basically, Backpage got in trouble because snitches should get stitches. The classified ad site Backpage and its leaders now face more than 100 criminal charges between them. Many, including the Department of Justice and the Texas Attorney General's office, are reporting this as a confirmation that the company encouraged the sexual exploitation of minors.
No, that's not what happened.
Yet all of the federal charges pending against Backpage are for money laundering or facilitating prostitution. Nothing about minors, nothing about sex trafficking. The one trafficking charge in all of this comes from Texas, where Backpage LLC pled guilty to knowingly receiving a benefit from participating in a venture. That caused the compelled prostitution of Erica Brewster, then around age 16 or 17. On behalf of Backpage, CEO Carl Ferrer entered a guilty plea to 1 count of trafficking in persons and 1 count of engaging in organized criminal activity, in addition to 1 count of money laundering on his own behalf. In a statement, Ferrer said that he knew the escort section of Backpage was largely ads for prostitution, which is illegal in 49 states and most of Nevada. But he does not concede that Backpage or any other of the defendant's entities had knowledge that the victim in this case was underage at the time that the Backpage.com advertisements for her were posted. Ferrer entered the guilty plea nonetheless and said because he was aware that the defendant entities are guilty under the law, regardless of whether the defendant knows the age of a victim. As part of the plea, Texas Assistant Criminal District Attorney Kirsty Melton recommended that Ferrer pay the victim restitution and pay the state a fine of $20,000 per defendant entity. This sounds like a money-making scam from me. The first half makes sense. Pay the victim. If the victim feels she was victimized and that there should be restitution paid, then pay her.
The whole thing sounds ridiculous because it wasn't. There was no.
Didn't the quote-unquote victim put the Backpage listing up herself?
No, they're saying here that someone else listed her and that she was used as a prostitute against her will.
The problem here is that none of these people knowingly partook in any kind of criminal activity. It's simply the fact that
in America, knowingly doesn't mean anything anymore.
It's supposed to.
They had a pretty good idea their site was being used this way.
Sharia law is evil. We don't want Sharia law in America. We want American law where ignorance is no defense.
There is a difference.
Intent is no defense.
There's a difference between knowing that a product that you use is being used for illegal activity and knowing that it's specifically or advertising specifically for illegal activity or something along those lines. You can use a VHS player to make copies of illegal tapes, and the people who make the VHS players know that it's going to be used for criminal activity, but they're not intending for it to be used for criminal activity. And that's kind of the same thing here. How can you convict somebody?
Except VHS has been required by law to implement safeguards to prevent that from happening.
What are you talking about?
Well, that's why VHS tapes have those little clips on them that have to be broken off before they can be copied.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the past 30 years of technological developments that you seem to be unaware of.
Yeah,
it's not that
No,
simple.
I'm aware of the clips and stuff.
DVD
but
players.
I'm not sure what you're trying to get at as far as what we're talking about.
DVD players that have VCRs in them.
I mean, he would be required as your analogy goes, he would be required to implement some type of safeguard to prevent his website from being used in that manner.
No.
And they didn't.
There's not a law, as far as I'm aware, that mandates it.
It's them. It's CYA is what it is. It's cover your own ass, and they didn't.
They're doing it to make sure they don't have to worry about culpability. Basically, it's companies that are saying, you know what, these idiots over here might sue us, so let's just do this just in case, so we don't have to worry about being sued. So, and a lot of companies do that kind of thing.
There's no law requiring blow dryer companies to say do not use this in the shower on them either, but they put it on there because
people are stupid.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
So even if they literally just put a disclaimer up that said do not use this to list prostitution ads, if it was literally something as simple as that, they should have been
Which incidentally is why Craigslist is not on trial.
Yes. Even though the same thing was supposed to have been happening on Craigslist. There was supposedly, as soon as the anti-trafficking laws weren't even in effect yet, as soon as they were passed.
Oh, that's right.
Craigslist was like, we're getting rid of this just in case.
Oh, yeah, and this is not, it hasn't even come into force yet. The law that was just passed.
90% of their business model is built around those sex ads, though. So if they'd have said no more of this, there'd have been like your ad for whatever you were selling and like 3 job placement ads for Avon and a couple ads for crap, and they would be out of business in a week. So anyway, if you got an opinion on this whole story, give us a call, 603-283-6160. Do you think that the Backpage folks are more openly culpable for what people list on?
Why did you move to the Shire? I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Do you know the difference between erudite and pedantic? If you do, you're probably pedantic. But seriously, a surprising number of erudite people mispronounce erudite, which has 3 syllables, not 4. Say erudite, not erudite. Because you are judged by how you speak, you want to avoid common misstatements, especially if you're a job seeker. For instance, do you know the difference between imply and infer? Only a speaker can imply, only a listener can infer. And when you say you'll be out of pocket, do you mean out of touch? Out of pocket means you're on your own dime, not yet reimbursed. And if anyone ever asks, why do you always answer a question with a question? You should reply, do I do that? Just kidding. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the Call to Freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you kill the faucet, you $1.05 to get some free coins. This is the Call to Freedom.
That's right. It's the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It's the second half of our Crypto Hour, and Aria brought up something that I felt was very, very important. So we decided to go ahead with this story. After Verge's announcement today that you can now get virtual dates, you can do like virtual, you can literally have a jerk-off session with Stormy Daniels for Verge. That's the new partnership. Verge has now partnered with Pornhub and a number of other sexual sites, pornography-style sites on the internet. And they're now exclusively accepting Verge as the only cryptocurrency that they accept. And that's good for Verge. And it's going to get Verge cryptocurrency in front of the eyes of literally an audience as big as the Super Bowl, only Pornhub has an audience that large daily. Daily. There's no other thing that people watch on Earth, I think, other than the sunset probably, that has as many viewers daily as Pornhub. So for XVG, it really is a great thing. I'm not selling. A lot of people were like, you should sell, but I'm still like, no, man. Like, this isn't done. I believe in the next 3 months, the value of Verge is going to double. Because you're going to have people using it. People are going to be using it. People want to see Stormy Daniels rub one out. She's the most famous porn star on earth right now. And every, left wing and right wing alike want to rub one out to her and watch her rub one off as well. And they're going to pay Verge to do it. And that means if you're a person who holds Verge right now, selling is probably a dumb idea.
So why do they pick Verge? There's all these cryptocurrencies out there. Do we know why? I
think it's probably because Verge went to them.
Yeah, Verge went to them.
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah,
marketing, man. And the best product doesn't necessarily get the most sales. It's the best.
It's the people who are willing to go out there and ask.
People at marketing, yeah.
How does Keene, New Hampshire have more crypto accepting businesses
marketing for sure
than a big city like New York or San Francisco?
It's also because we got people moving here who support crypto and they support freedom.
Exactly.
We definitely would not have the marketing if it's marketing, but it's also partially, I think, because we have people moving here who like freedom. They want freedom, and that's what cryptocurrency gives us. If not for that, I don't think we would have the marketing behind it, because certainly it's not a financial. I don't feel that the reasons people are promoting it here are financial. A little bit maybe, but mostly it's because people want freedom.
I think for a sex industry type thing, Verge is perfect. Zencash, Verge, Monero, coins like privacy coins that are like you can spend money and it's a private transaction. No one will know where your money is going. The only person that knows that you gave Stormy Daniels $900 so that you could spend 4 minutes beating off to her is you and Stormy Daniels and the privacy contract that no one else can even see.
I would think that they would be doing Zencash or Zcash or Monero, one of those. I'm not sure how
it's the Wraith protocol, because the Wraith protocols are supposed to
is that what Monero is based on?
No, Monero's not based on the Wraith protocols. Verge is new. Verge's new thing is the Wraith protocol. It was released earlier this year,
and that's a privacy thing of some sort.
Well, no, they already had the Lyra 2 mining algorithm and the full privacy contracts and all that kind of stuff, like Zcash and all that. Wraith protocols is supposed to be a separate network that lays over the top of other existing networks, so it's Lightning Network compatible automatically.
Okay.
So it's as far as I know, it's the only security coin that's already Lightning Network compatible.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's why I'm assuming is because there's this new technology moving forward, and Verge is the first security coin that's ready for it. You know, like I mean, I'm not going to talk and say Zencash is bad or Monero is bad or any of these other, because I love all of them, and that's the reason why I support and invest in, you know, and I'm not a what do you call it? Like you've got these traders that the reason why they own coins is because they want moons and Lambos. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like if I go out and somebody says, you know, there's this new privacy token, I put my money into it because I know putting my money into it helps raise the value of it, and raising the value of it helps enrich the developers so that they can sell their coins off at higher values, so they can put that money into living expenses and developing and marketing and all this kind of stuff.
Interesting.
And that's the reason why I buy it. To me, I'm investing. Like for me, Verge is like a company.
Yeah.
And I'm not really buying coins from them. You know, to me, it's like it's shares in their company that I'm really buying, and their value is going up and up and up. And it's because I believe in security coins. That's why I put money into Zencash.
Yeah,
that's why I put money into Verge.
I'm a big fan of Zencash, not because of Zencash. I mean, well, I'm kind of a fan of it because of the people behind it, but that's not really the reason why I like it so much. It's mostly because of the zero coin protocol, which is it's basically the difference between, oh, we're gonna kind of do some money laundering and hide the source of the funds, versus this is actually private. And there's actually math behind it.
Do you want to put your coins through a tumbler?
Right. It's like okay, it makes it difficult, you know, other coins that make it difficult to trace it back, but they don't really guarantee your privacy. And
it's the bingo spinner security method, basically.
Yeah. And so zero coin is basically that it's a zero anonymity proof is that the
zero anonymity
zero
proof.
Anonymity proof. So anyway, it's basically the math behind it, and I was waiting for years for it to, you know, the math to be figured out and the protocols to be developed, and then finally there was Zcash that came out, and then Zencash, and I like Zencash because it's
and all kinds of
stuff. Zencash. What's cool about Zencash is that it's both got zero coin, and it's got the people behind it that are liberty minded.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of libertarians. You know, they've come out with it. It's going to have support at some point here for actually you'll actually be able to use it, as opposed to a lot of these cryptocurrencies. There's no place to spend it. You know, I mean, what are you going to do with it? Hold it? I mean, that's an investment, but it seems like a poor investment to me.
Yeah.
Monero is kind of cool because it's actually being used.
Yeah.
But
Verge they've got a few other companies that they were already partnered with, but they were pretty small. Like this is their Overstock.com.
I don't know enough about Verge to give an opinion, so I don't really, you know, the more information I'd love to hear. But
let's see, some of their fans are the worst people on earth. You can't say anything negative about them, or they just go absolutely bananas. You can't say anything negative about, like, if Verge is late on releasing the Wraith protocols, and you make the comment that, like, you know, I really wish that for once Verge would make a deadline that they announce to the public so that I didn't have to watch my investment crash when it doesn't actually come to fruition, and then it never comes back to where it was before you guys were late, you know, that kind of thing. Then you have like this Twitter army that's like, FUD! F you, non-believer! Burn the heretic! You know, I mean, it's like dealing with Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash people. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm starting to find that for certain coins, that's the kind of community you're going to deal with. Monacoin, Monacoin has a whole community of true believers, but they are not like that. It's different.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what happens when money gets involved in free software.
Very true.
It's you get people from the outside, and then all of a sudden it's not people doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it for financial reasons, and then it's like, oh, now it's how do you know which is the good stuff to actually care about, what's not?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, when we get back, we're going to get back into this story here about Backpage.com. Aria says she's got some ideas for some alternatives. Make this safe, make it blockchain-based, make it better. You got any input on that? Give us a call, 603-283-6160. Tell us your ideas when we get back here on The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
Marriage should be handled either by religious institutions or the couple's friends. If everybody wants to say that two individuals are married and they live as a married couple, they don't need any piece of paper from anybody. And I'll even go one step further. If 17 people decide that they want to be in one big giant marriage, I don't care. As long as they're all consenting to it, it doesn't harm anybody. It should not be illegal. There shouldn't be laws prohibiting that. So Rand Paul to say that, oh, well, if we allow gay marriage, we have to allow polygamy. What is the effing problem with polygamy? Historically, polygamy has always been accepted.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार के क्रिप्टो आवर को, जिसके प्रस्तुत करता है Helium.com.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. And it's the final segment of this Tuesday's Crypto Hour. Now, we've been talking about, we started off talking about Verge's big news finally came out. You can give yourself a handy while you watch Stormy Daniels give herself a handy, and you can only do so with Verge. Now, it's the only cryptocurrency that Pornhub will be accepting for their pay services. They actually have pay services. Yes, I had to look that up because I didn't know Pornhub has pay services. And now if you want to pay with crypto, they exclusively accept Verge. So, and that took us into the story about Backpage. And we started off telling you kind of basically that, one of the CEOs turned snitch and sold and ratted out the other 7 CEOs in exchange for a lesser sentence. And that's what's happened that's gotten all of this stuff rolling. But Aria says she's got an idea for something better. I think.
Yeah, I do.
She's still there. Yay.
Well, I don't know if it's better or not, but it wasn't even my idea. It was your idea. And it was to take something like Craigslist, some classified ad services that was used, primarily to sell sex services, which, some people may object to morally, but it's really irrelevant because it happens. It's going to happen. It's always happened. It's going to continue happening. We're never going to be able to stop it.
Exactly.
So might as well make it safe and secure and reliable.
I personally object to it morally. That doesn't change the fact that, because of the fact that I have a sister who worked in the sex industry my whole entire teenage years and most of my adulthood. So I've been around people in the sex industry most of my adult life. And as much as my sister knows, I don't morally think that what she does is right. But I don't think that she should have to deal with weirdo pimps that want to spit in her mouth and beat her up. And have you ever read the book about that inspired the character of Pimp Nate Slipback? Oh my God, there is a book.
No.
There is a book. Dave Chappelle talks about it in his stand-up acts now. And it's about pimping in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. The guy recently died, and he wrote a book about his experiences and about how he had a guy pretend to be dead. He had a girl that was at what they call the end of her rope. If she turned 3 more tricks, she was probably going to lose her mind. And she was his favorite prostitute. So he had a John pretend to die while she was with him. And then he pretended to clean up the mess. And she felt ingratiated to him forever for covering up a murder that she never actually committed.
Wow.
And he talks about how he did. I don't think.
Well, John McAfee will talk about it.
The sex industry should be having to deal with that stuff.
Wow,
it's gonna exist. Okay, sex work has literally. It is. They call it the world's oldest profession for a reason. So if it's gonna happen, it's gonna exist. Why can't we have it in a space so that these girls can do what they're gonna do in a safe manner, so that they're not being exploited by people who want to abuse them, who seek to get them hooked on drugs so that they have a permanent body to throw underneath of a customer. And these women are controlling their own destiny as far as this is concerned with their own ads, their own thing. yes, sometimes there's going to be exploitation. But you see here, there was, out of all the Backpage ads, they found one girl that it happened to one time.
So, we should back up a moment because Craigslist was actually cooperating with identifying people who were underage, and most of these people, and I choose to not use the term kids because it's misleading. The people that were underage were basically 17, 16-year-olds who were lying about their age.
Yes.
And
well, that's something that society is going to have to get over at the same time it gets over this anti-prostitution thing. I mean, you're always going to have 30-year-old men who want to have sex with 16 and 17-year-olds. Whether you make it illegal or not, whether you imprison them or not,
I mean, sure,
it's always going to happen. Just like prostitution, just like drugs.
Craigslist is not the only way that people, prostitute themselves or pimps, or no, not pimps, I guess the customer, so to speak, find their
the
prostitutes.
College paper. They used to have this thing in Tampa, called the Metro. And on the back page of the Metro, it wasn't Backpage, it was the Metro itself. And if you flip around to the back page, I know because the company I used to own used to advertise there, you find escort services on the back page. I'm sure that's where these guys got the idea for Backpage to begin with, was seeing these Backpage ads on these small local, like, they're not newspapers, they're usually free, they're like at record stores. It's got like weird news and local entertainment news, and on the back page it usually has like these advertisements for like jerk off cream, make your willy grow bigger, or hire a stripper for your bachelor party.
Yeah, I remember in the 90s I used to have, I don't know what it was, some magazine I got. It was just a normal magazine. I don't know if it was like computers or what. I'm a techie kind of person. But there were escort services in there, and it was obvious that they were selling sex.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
But I mean, all of that aside, at the end of the day, we have a problem that we have to solve, and we have to keep these Backpage-like sites online and existing in spite of government efforts to shut them down.
This isn't going to make any difference whatsoever as far as sex and selling it online. The only thing that's going to happen is it's going to go underground. Somebody's going to set up a Silk Road equivalent on Tor, and
that's the problem that has to be solved.
Well, I mean, what do you?
That's what he's saying. He's saying, why isn't the crypto industry addressing this? I mean, we're seeing what's happening with Backpage. Why hasn't the crypto industry yet addressed this and created a secure, safe space in the blockchain universe?
I mean, it seems to me like it's already sort of happening. I mean, it's not. I understand it's not all in one.
Pornhub is a little bitty piece of it. But what Pornhub does is it lets you do all the things you want to do with an escort as long as she's on a computer screen on the other side of the earth. What Ari is saying is, how do we develop a Pornhub style thing where it allows people to have actual physical interaction and do so in a manner where the customers are screened, so girls aren't going with, because I've literally had,
it could use a reputation system similar to that crypto fake news thing we had on a few weeks ago.
You know what you might need to do is, I don't know if you need to fork it or not, but you probably the way to do it, if somebody wants to actually go and set up some sort of operation to do it, you'd probably want to fork something like Tor browser.
Well, they should. This would save lives.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, but what you'd want to do is you probably want to fork Tor browser. You might not even need to do that. It depends on, I'm not sure how easy it is to set up one of the problems with Tor browser is it's very restrictive for people's privacy, but the reality is you can utilize, Tor, combine Tor with either Tor browser or a fork of it, which is basically a copy of it, but with some modifications, and do exactly what you're talking about, probably already using cryptocurrencies. And there's not really much the government's going to be able to do in a easy, short, quick amount of time. I mean, we've already got multiple forks of Silk Road. Well, maybe I shouldn't say forks, but we have different versions of Silk Road already. And we've had, I mean, think about how many different clones of it basically already exist out there. Yeah. They haven't shut Silk Road down. I mean, they did the original Silk Road and they arrested a few people, whatever.
But but none of those existed on the blockchain. I mean, yeah, sure, we could have anonymity networks in order to do this. But if by putting it on a blockchain, we kind of secure it
that would
and
take
decentralize
that would certainly take it to another level. But I mean,
that was the entire point that Will and I were
like
trying
my
to get
sister
at.
has said over and over again, she wishes there was a way that she could report to other escort services all at the same time when she runs into a creepo. Because she's had she's had calls where she's gone to a hotel room and the guy just gave her a bad vibe, and she just was like, "Look, I have the right to refuse service, and I don't want even any money from you, or I'm just leaving," and leave. And then the next day or 2 days later, that hotel room be in a news story about some girl went over there and got beat up or got wrapped up in cellophane or something like that happening. And that she wished there was a central server place that she could go and be like, "Hey, this number, this room, this time, that's a creepo. Protect your girls."
Except it would be this blockchain address.
Exactly.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, April 17th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,343 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,131. Antiwar.com reports expectations that the inspectors from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons would enter Duma on Monday, but this did not happen. Exactly why is a matter of serious contention. British Prime Minister Theresa May is claiming the Russians blocked the OPCW, saying that Russia and Syria are not cooperating. The Russians and Syrians are both denying this. Russia says the UN ordered the visit stopped for security reasons, and Syrian officials say they've been meeting with the OPCW delegation. It's not totally clear what is happening. The UN Security Council already rejected a resolution calling for an investigation, but it's not clear that they can stop the OPCW visit. At the same time, Syria and Russia have supported it from the start, anticipating it would discredit the Western allegations of a chemical attack. The US seems to be anticipating the OPCW probe not going anywhere and is already accusing Syria and Russia of plotting to tamper with the site. There's no evidence of tampering of any kind. The US suggestion was based on the fact that Russian military police had visited the site. The visit, however, was done days ago, and Russia said it was meant to deter the West from attacking Duma and destroying evidence. The US, France, and Britain appear to have little reason to want the OPCW visit to be successful. They already used the alleged attack as pretext for a strike against Syria on Friday, so clearly they weren't interested in getting the facts before striking. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the Environmental Protection Agency removed 2 sites from its priority cleanup list on Monday, including a toxic sludge pit flooded by Hurricane Harvey. The EPA removed the San Jacinto River waste pits in Houston, Texas, and the Anaconda Copper Mines in Lyon County, Montana from its emphasis list of Superfund sites, stating both sites have reached specific milestones in their cleanup programs. EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt said, "We are making tremendous progress expediting sites through the entire Superfund remediation process. The updated emphasis list reflects our commitment to addressing Superfund sites as quickly and safely as possible." The removal from the list of the San Jacinto River waste pits comes a week after the EPA reached an agreement with the 2 companies responsible for the waste to conduct a remedial design for the site, which is estimated to take 29 months to complete. In October, the EPA determined there was erosion of the river bottom up to 12 feet deep near the cap of the San Jacinto River waste pit Superfund site following Hurricane Harvey. The EPA also added 3 new sites: Casmalia Resources in California, Delaware Sand and Gravel Landfill in Delaware, and St. Regis Paper Company in Minnesota to the list to spur action on cleanup and redevelopment efforts. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Starbucks chief executive Kevin Johnson hopes to meet with the 2 black men arrested at one of its Philadelphia cafes last week to apologize for the incident, which has sparked accusations of racial profiling at the coffee chain. The men, who had not made a purchase, were handcuffed and arrested for trespassing on Thursday after a store manager called 911 and reported them for refusing to leave. Witnesses said the men were calmly sitting in the cafe. In a widely viewed video, some patrons asked police whether they were targeted because they were black. Police released the men, who were not charged with any crime. Johnson told ABC's Good Morning America on Monday, "The circumstances surrounding the incident and the outcome in our store on Thursday were reprehensible. They were wrong." A Starbucks representative said the female manager who reported the men to police has left the company. Johnson, who was interviewed from Philadelphia, said it was completely inappropriate to engage the police. He added Starbucks would conduct training to prevent unconscious bias. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Everyone in Pennington is talking about it. Something smells like weed in that back part of the library. Head librarian Cookie Stevens and library volunteers Margaret Mosier and Gail Fredericks were in the middle of discussing the upcoming used book saleganza when they smelled something strange.
So Doug smelled marijuana somewhere, and we're like shocked. Yeah. And so Doug goes, "Do you smell it?"
Without any way to confirm that the smell was indeed weed, Cookie Stevens called her husband, Sheriff Stevens, who called in local ceramics teacher Dutch Gibbs, who lived in Seattle for a few months in the 70s.
Yeah, that's weed.
Sheriff Stevens has begun compiling a list of potential suspects, including that boy Lance, who has girl hair and hangs out down by the quarry, Greg Fromke, who was spotted this evening really going to town on some potato skins at Steaky Jake's Steakhouse, and Mr. Thompson. Luckily, one young reading enthusiast seemed unperturbed by the illicit smell.
Yeah, I don't smell anything. I really love the library.
The weed smell comes on the heels of last month's discovery of a gigantic pair of women's underpants in the children's fiction section. According to Stevens, that case remains open as well.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Disclaimer. When I die, I want to be put into orbit around Earth in a flying kick position. This is my dream. My dream. My dream. My dream. My dream. This is my dream.
All right, welcome back here to the final hour of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It's another Tuesday Drive Home edition. You're welcome to call in and get involved if you'd like. Number is 603-283-6160. You can hit us up on the Discord line at discord.lrn.fm, or you can hit us on our Skype studio line, lrn.fm studio. We've been talking, of course, at the beginning of the hour, we talked about, Happy Tax Day! And we spent literally an entire hour taking calls and talking to each other about all the horrible things that, if you could just get the IRS to give you an itemized tax bill that said, okay, you know what? We spend money on all these things, and you get to pick one of them that we won't spend your money on. Now, we're still going to take the same amount. We just won't spend your money on this one thing. What would it be?
I said roads, jokingly.
Yeah.
But my real answer would be police.
Would be roads.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because
I said roads, but my real
because
answer
without
would be
police, without police, I mean, they can't enforce anything else. So
very good. Very good.
Yeah, I think you might need to expand that a little bit to just beyond police, but I mean, basically any kind of government agent with a gun.
Yes.
But yeah.
If you're a government agent and you have a gun, is there a way I can just say anybody that works for government that uses a gun, I don't want my money to go to them or an agency they work for? But then you'd literally not be like, the IRS has guns, the EPA has guns. Yep. Like, what was it? Some group, like, what was it? Department of Education. Yeah, the Department of Education has a stockpile of hollow point Full Metal Jacket rounds. Like, what?
Wow.
Why
for the kids?
It's for the children. Now, we're not going to use those bullets to protect them from shooters. So what are we going to use them for?
Come after you.
Yeah, come after you. Now, libertarians,
hold on, because I must have missed some huge libertarian reveal. The Department of Education has stockpiles of ammunition.
That is correct. Yes.
And no one went, what the?
They did.
Hell?
A lot of people did.
But they still have them.
Well, yeah.
So no one went, what the hell?
No, people went, what the hell?
I mean, they said it, but they didn't do it.
Well, it's like when people went, what the hell?
Nothing happens. Just because something outrageous happens, the people don't rise up and try to defend themselves. They just kind of,
the ones who do are they get taken out all over Ruby Ridge,
Right. There's not enough people organizing together to do it all at once, because then if people organized and got together and, maybe did something like move to New Hampshire and, maybe not even violently defend themselves, but in other ways, like just vote
politically
and,
defend themselves.
Go to the state house and
you don't need a bunch of people. Just need a couple of bombs set in the right place when there's no one there to destroy the ammunition depot. When there is no one there, stressing that part again.
Wow. Okay, I'm not going there, but
no, he's saying if there are stockpiles of guns and bullets that belong to the people who are running our education system, then you can vote it away, or the easy way to get rid of it is civil disobedience and domestic terrorism.
Yeah, I'm not going there. I'll leave that to you guys, because I would.
Don't leave it to me. Don't say
they don't let you into the Audacious Caucus for nothing.
Damn sentence.
Yeah.
Now these are conversations that have happened and do happen often among libertarians, and it turns out that there's this new thing. It's called Newsbroke, and it comes from Al Jazeera Media. And, you know what? They don't particularly like libertarians over there. And I wanted to go through this video that they've put together. I find it utterly hilarious, while at the same time,
it is pretty funny.
I've heard this characterized even by my wife as the most egregious and blatant misrepresentation of libertarianism ever done.
Have a government-issued license to drive a car.
Hell no. What's next? Requiring a license to make toast in your own damn toaster?
The license to drive? I'd like to see some competency exhibited by people before they drive.
Libertarianism,
I love it.
America's favorite political sideshow. While they're often looked at as just a fringe group of political whack jobs who think that the road to Stalinism is paved with driver's licenses, the truth is their ideology is much more influential and dangerous than you probably realize. Because libertarianism is
Yeah, because we want peace, right?
A religious ideology where the Lord and Savior is pure, unadulterated capitalism.
Lord Jesus, praise the dollar.
See, he's committing a can't think of the word, a false
Logical
equivalency.
fallacy.
The god of libertarianism would be natural selection and competition.
Yeah.
And the free market is just one way in which that happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, having it paused,
So the same
right?
rules that govern the universe would govern human behavior.
I mean, I have it paused, and just the look on his face. I mean, if you guys can see this, like, you can see the, like, seething, I effing hate libertarians, just coming out of his face, you know? So, I mean, this is definitely not what's the word, a factual or unbiased discussion
Invisible
of
hand of the free market,
libertarianism.
take the wheel.
What I think is really funny is...
Does the invisible hand need a driver's license to take the wheel? The government suggests that it does.
Well, a lot of historians and sociologists today say that the concept of the invisible hand was Adam West plagiarizing Ibn Khaldun.
You mean Adam Smith?
I mean Adam Smith, yeah, plagiarizing Ibn
I wish
Khaldun.
we could get Adam West doing it,
Right.
though.
So these are the concept of the invisible hand of the free market is a central Islamic precept. It is literally a part of the religion. It's discussed in the Quran itself that the government should have no influence over fluctuations in prices, be they on labor or products. That the market, God, is what controls the marketplace. The invisible hand of God is what controls the marketplace. So literally, in his attempt, Al Jazeera,
right?
What, Qatar? Isn't it Qatar that owns Al Jazeera? Qatari state-owned media is maligning Islam in an effort to insult libertarians. That was almost perfect, too.
That
wasn't
was.
it?
American libertarianism is the idea that government is evil and needs to be dismantled. Libertarians don't see society as a collective. They instead champion radical individualism. They see the free market as a force for absolute good and government as solely a corrupting force. One of the primary ways they express these beliefs is by shrieking about taxes constantly.
Taxation is theft. Taxation is theft.
Taxation, quite frankly, is theft or armed robbery or extortion.
Yup, taxes are just like robbery, except instead of taking your television away, they take your trash away, which is nice. It's nice. Sure, paying taxes doesn't
Here's
feel
the question,
good,
though.
but once you factor in all the bridges and schools and firefighters and
I mean, what this guy's advocating is communism.
Who pays
He's
to have your...
literally saying using the word collective.
Yeah. Who pays to have your garbage taken away?
None of that matters. Did I ask you to take my garbage away?
Mark, Mark Edge happens to be in the studio. Mark, does the government take your garbage away?
No, I do. We have a transfer station in my town, and I drive the stuff there in my old pickup truck. It's basically the reason I have a pickup truck is to drive to the dump.
I pay a company in Swansea. They come and they pick up the garbage from in front of the Malek Center. You pay at a company here in Keene.
And I don't.
Ian pays a company here in Keene.
I'm not forced to pay anybody. I actually have a choice. I can go in Keene. We have some sort of recycling place, and I did a few times go and try and do it myself. It wasn't going to happen. So I paid somebody to do it, but and I've had a few different companies too that did it. So it's not like there's a monopoly or anything.
Right. Well, when we get back, we're going to get into a little bit more of this. This, like I said, it is the most egregious and ridiculous misrepresentation of libertarianism I've ever heard. You should hear it when we get back.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what? These days, it is almost impossible to keep your communications secured from the prying eyes of the government. You see, they've got so many tools in the tool chest today to affect your ability to communicate. They can subpoena servers to seize your personal information, find out what you're saying and who you're saying it to. Or, well, they have the ability to shut down servers altogether and prevent you from being able to communicate, like we saw in many different countries around the world during the revolutions that happened over the course of the last few years. governments feeling threatened by the ability of people to network, shutting down servers to prevent people from being able to communicate. Well, that's where CryptVisor comes in. It is a decentralized communication platform hosted on the blockchain. Now, you see, CryptVisor, they don't have a centralized server. So if the government comes in and decides they want to shut something down, well, there's nothing to shut down. And if they come snooping around and they're like, you know what, we want your information. We see CryptVisor doesn't keep your phone number. It doesn't keep your email. It keeps no personal information. So if the feds want it, they don't even have it to give. So go over, check out cryptvisor.network, all their new advanced security features, and the new CVPay crypto wallet. Again, that's cryptvisor.network, the new decentralized security communications platform. So we've been talking about this video. It came from Al Jazeera, and it's entitled, and if you want to look it up, you can find it on YouTube. I'll post it here in the Discord chat. It's called The Religion of Libertarianism. And my wife, when we were watching it this morning, she called it the worst misrepresentation of the beliefs of libertarianism she had ever seen. And that's a pretty big shoe to fill. You know,
I mean, considering we had Bill Weld out there endorsing Hillary under the guise of libertarianism,
for real,
yeah, it's got to be pretty bad.
Damn big shoot up, Phil. But we're going to go through this video. We're going to listen to some of it during the last hour, and you guys are going to get a laugh or make you want to throw the radio out the window. I'm not really sure which.
Roads and whatnot, it does seem like kind of a fair trade. But don't you dare mention roads to libertarians.
Ah, the old who will build the roads. Roads, roads, roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
No, seriously, we need roads. Libertarians have an almost cult-like adherence to the idea that government is bad and the free market is God. I mean good. I mean God.
The free market can solve the problems of the environment. When it comes to healthcare, what we need is a real free market approach to healthcare.
The Thanksgiving feast came because they had private property rights and they had free markets, and that's how we will take care of the poor.
And lo, the burning bush said unto Moses, don't worry about paying taxes, my dude, for the invisible hand of the free market will take care of everything. And yea, the bush soon became a forest fire and burned down Moses' village because there were no taxes and thus no firefighters. So what would
Can you pause that idiocy right there?
Yeah. So, I'd say a good 85% of fire departments in the United States are volunteer-based. They're not government fire departments. Because you got to remember, there's fire departments in Boston, fire departments in New York, and then most, or at least in my experience, most are municipality.
Most is correct. 85%, I think, is probably an exaggeration. So most fire departments in this country 60? Are volunteer. I would go super 50. I'm not. That's as far as I'm willing to go, and that number's a little old.
I'd say it's a lot higher. I'd say it's closer to 95. I mean, here in Mississippi, I can think of at least 15 volunteer fire departments off the top of my head, and only one municipality.
There were
this
private,
county alone.
Private fire departments too.
Yeah, all I can say is that
69%. According to the National Fire Protection Association, 69% of firefighters in the United States are working for volunteer fire departments.
So that's firefighters as opposed to fire departments.
Yes.
That would depend on whether or not these volunteer departments had. The thing about a volunteer department is you send out the call, you don't know who shows up, and often they'll have people. I haven't shown up for a fire call in months.
I was just gonna say you're a firefighter, right?
Right, but I don't go to medical calls because I'm not qualified, and it's all been medical recently. If it's a motor vehicle accident or a fire, I'll go. But for whatever reason, in my town, nobody's set their house on fire this winter. Every other winter, there's always a chimney fire or two.
See, So there you go. And then,
but I'd like to address this point. So fire departments are, in fact, the socialization of the job of the fire insurance companies. So fire insurance companies used to pay departments on who put the fire out, who got there first, whatever their metric was for putting things out. You can watch, I think it's the Gangs of New York or something.
Yeah.
This will give you some idea of what it was like way back in the day. This was a way to make money, was to be a volunteer in a fire department, and they'd hand out bounties to the people that showed up and that kind of thing. The insurance companies found, oh wow, tell you what, we'll lower your rates if there's a municipal department, and then that's offsetting the cost of the fire department to the community as opposed to the fire insurance company to whom it belongs.
Yeah.
And so a fire department really is socialization.
Evil corporations figured out how to get government to pay for something.
They do it all the time. I mean, it's over and over again.
Therefore, we need taxes.
It's standard operating procedure. Corporations, it's really, man, it's kind of funny. Every corporation in industry has basically taken the initiative to, once they get to a certain size, get regulations passed in the name of safety, and then in order to hinder their upstarts that might compete with them. And the other thing they do is shift the cost of operating onto the government, and which really means onto you as a taxpayer.
Exactly. I want to actually address his, and thus saith Moses to the burning. Actually, it wasn't Moses. And it wasn't a burning bush. It was the prophet Samuel, and it was to the people of Israel before there was a king.
The king, yeah.
And he made it very clear. The people of Israel came to him and said, we want to have a king. And he was like, well, a king comes with taxes, and a king comes with taking your sons to have them, what is that, conscription, the draft. So government comes with the draft. It comes with your daughters being taken for perfumers, cooks, and bakers. He'll take the best of your fields and vineyards, and he will give it to his attendants. So that's the what is that? That's the cronyism.
Cronyism.
That's the cronyism that we see in the government right now. He takes the best of your wealth, the best of your field. The government takes the best of your things and gives it to the big banksters, their buddies, the ones that give them $500,000 speaking fees and things such as that. That's where your money goes to. And it's just like was said in the Bible. So, I mean, if you want to mock using religious language, at least know that the Bible itself says taxation is evil, and if you submit yourself to it, you should not.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agrishosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agris Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agrishosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agrishosting.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we are joined live via remote by the Queen of Crypto herself, Miss Aria Demezzo from cryptocurrencycheck.org. And then live in studio, we've got our tech guy from Think Penguin, Mr. Chris Wade. And then, we just happen to have Mr. Mark Edge just kind of sitting down at the end of the table here, waiting on the time for Free Talk Live to come on. And we got into this video here from Al Jazeera's Newsbroke. And basically, it is the biggest steaming pile of hilarity and horse manure on libertarianism.
Camel manure.
Yeah, that I have ever seen. I don't want to waste any time though, because I mean it's like a 13-minute. There's no way we're going to cover all of it. We're literally only a little over 2 minutes into it, and we've already had to stop like 10 times to be like, and this is why he's full of crap, and this is why he's full of crap, and oh look at all the unlibertarian people that he's calling libertarian, and look at all the unlibertarian things that he's attributing to libertarian. Oh, awesome. Cool. So anyway, here he's going to tell us about Gary Johnson's stupid ideas on healthcare.
Libertarian.
Market approach to healthcare look like, according to Gary Johnson, who was ultimately selected as the Libertarian nominee for president?
We would have health insurance to cover ourselves for catastrophic injury and illness, and we would pay as you go in a system that was very, very affordable. We would have stitches are us. We would have gallbladders are us. We would have x-rays are us.
Gallbladders are us? Hey, are you tired of those leaky gallbladders that you have to swap out every 6 months like a common windshield wiper? At Gallbladders R Us, we guarantee a leak-free bladder for only $19.99. That's right, I said $19.99. I must be crazy. People are like, wow, I didn't even know gallbladders could be that cheap, but they can be because they're made out of plastic. We also got dogs. Okay, but what about poor people or old people who can't afford
I don't even
organs
know what
from
the hell that
golf?
was supposed to mean.
Well, it was kind of funny, but I don't know what it was supposed to be.
Hilarious.
It was hilarious, absolutely.
But
we can take a joke, us libertarians.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But some of us.
well, yeah, that's because we're not liberals who are begging and just can't wait to be offended.
Bladders are us. Like, how would libertarians help them?
How many people in here, and I actually do want a show of hands, love grandmas?
I love
How
grandma.
many of you would donate money to feed grandmas? I do not see a single person that did not raise their hand. That's how you fund Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare.
And as for grandpas, f them. There's a kind of charming faith-based
Well, there's a lot of
when it comes
grandpas,
to the
you
way
know what
that
I'm saying?
libertarians view private enterprise and human nature. Scary and delusional, but charming. Just listen to Libertarian candidate John McAfee's reasoning when explaining why we don't need government-funded social programs, because we can rely on each other.
None of us are going to pass a child drowning in a river, even if we're dressed in a tuxedo heading to our wedding. Libertarianism is not heartlessness. It's the
hold on.
opening
That's
of
not.
the heart.
It's nothing to do
your
with
neighbor.
heartlessness.
Okay,
so you can have bad people who are horrible, that's not what libertarianism is. Okay, so it's not a moral, compass. You can have a person who is just a horrible human being who's libertarian, and you can also have somebody who's a very good person who's also a libertarian.
Yeah, you can be a crotchety and miserly old bastard who just wants to keep all of his money and be left alone,
right?
And still be a libertarian. Or you can be a person who, like, their whole life revolves around giving to others and charity and doing good things, and like, you live on almost nothing so that you can give to others, and you can do that. And guess what? You're still a libertarian.
So there's a website out there, and it's still up. I checked it not too long ago. It's called The Impossible Solution to Healthcare. And in it basically points out that, it shows a menu of items that could be purchased at a hospital. By items, I mean services that could be purchased, including, a maternity and that sort of thing. And then it prices them out in today's dollars. This is from the 40s or something like that, prior to a great deal of government intervention in the medical,
insurance,
and all that stuff. And it says this is what these services would be at now, and compares, look, cars have gotten more expensive and they have more features and all this other stuff. So it's not unfair to presume that these should be this price, and it's significantly less than what things cost now.
Well, yeah, I mean, you go to the hospital, if you ask for an itemized bill, you find out they're charging you $260 for a bag of salt water.
Right. The government's got involved. It broke your legs, and then it hands you a crutch called healthcare, and then we're supposed to be thankful for it. This guy, hasn't taken the time and hasn't even considered the notion that he's been duped all along, and he's just like, well, you gotta have it because healthcare is expensive. Well, it is expensive because the government made it expensive. It's the same with school. Here in Keene, New Hampshire, we had I looked it up. At one point, there was a school in my town, $1,500 to send your kid. At the same time, it was $15,000 per student at the government school. 10 times the cost. And were you getting 10 times the education in the government school?
No.
You were getting less of an education at the government school.
Now they've got this new thing to where with the
But we have to have our babysitters.
with accreditation systems. Basically, accreditation systems will not accredit you unless you use the government's measuring stick. So now you've got parents who are like, well, I don't want my kids to do Common Core, so I'm going to put them in a private school. And then you find out they're doing Common Core in the private school too, because if the private school doesn't do Common Core, they can't get accredited by these agencies. And that means your kid doesn't get a diploma when he graduates from high school. He may as well not even be going to school. You're wasting your money.
There you go.
That's ridiculous.
Yes. The school my kids went to was so expensive because of the fact that if they wanted accreditation, all of the instructors, including the kindergarten teachers, had to have a master's degree in education.
What?
Yeah.
For what?
If you want accreditation as a private school, you have to live up to
what's
much
absolutely
higher
insane
standard
about that
school.
is that most of your kids' education doesn't come from the school system itself. It comes from practicing at home, and that's not the school doing it. There's a reason that poor areas do worse than wealthier areas. It's
true.
It's not because this one school is better than the other school. It's because the parents that are wealthier make sure that their kids actually study, and the poorer families don't have the resources. They're not home. They're not there because they're out working, presumably, to actually, or they don't have the desire to make sure their kids study.
This is the truth. I've read a couple of articles, and in one of them, they actually use the term that sending your kid to private school or homeschooling is illiberal. That's the terminology they use. So a liberal says you have to send your kid
to the government
to government school because the people that are homeschooling and people that are sending their kids to private school tend to be wealthier, because your kid is above average in wealth, and above average wealthy kids that are above average in wealth are above average in education. So we need you in there to drag the numbers up and to create an atmosphere where the poor kids can learn. So we need to sacrifice your little smart kid to the monstrosity known as the government school system, make them dumber so the rest can be smarter. It's crazy.
You know what's terrible about that is that's
communism.
It also deprives the kids.
Sure is.
The kids who are not doing well too at the other end of the spectrum.
No, seriously, that is communism. My wife went to school, and one of her best friends is Russian, and that's exactly how she described the education system in Russia, was that the lowest person in the classroom, everyone got the grade that the lowest guy in the classroom got, because that encouraged you to make him do better, because society, in their view, is only as strong as the weakest dredge that's sleeping on the street.
And, of course, you have to be thrown in with the, everybody in order to get judged by everybody. It's nuts.
All right. Well, we'll be back with just a little bit more on the other side here on the Call to Freedom. We're discussing the Al Jazeera's The Religion of Libertarianism video. We're having a really good laugh. Stick around. We'll be right back.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
While digital communications coordinator Brian Tyler is considered by many of his coworkers to be the cutest guy around the offices of Western Psychological Publishing Services, employees conceded today the 27-year-old is not even particularly attractive.
Brian gets a lot of attention from girls around here, but if I saw him in a bar, I don't know if I would even notice him. Put him next to Glenn or Mike, and then, sure, he actually looks pretty good.
Co-workers explained to reporters that by everyday standards, Tyler would at best be considered moderately good-looking, but explained that given the abundance of unattractive men at the publishing firm, female employees often go out of their way to make small talk with the 27-year-old at his desk or eat lunch with him in the office kitchen.
I saw him walking to work the other day, and half the guys on the street were easily better looking than him. But here, he's the hottest guy around. It's almost kind of sad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd still him.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
The final segment of this Tuesday afternoon live broadcast of your home for Drive Home Crypto and Political Talk, The Call to Freedom, here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio, and in the studio right now with Mr. Mark Edge from Free Talk Live, and I've also got sitting across from me Chris Wade from Think Penguin, and joined live via remote, but being kind of quiet over there, we've got Aria DiMezzo, the Queen of Crypto herself, from CryptocurrencyCheck.org. And we've been listening to, making fun of, correcting this absolutely laughable video from Al Jazeera's Newsbroke. You can find it on YouTube. Just look up Religion of Libertarianism, or you can come to the Discord. I've posted it there. But I wanted to go ahead and just run right back into it because, you know, it's kind of hard to... Go ahead. What?
I've been kind of quiet because any discussion of education and libertarianism that doesn't include Chelsea just feels kind of wrong.
Right.
I mean, she is the expert.
She is. Well, that's good, because now, thank goodness, he's moving on to a new topic.
We need laws because people will do the right thing anyway, or that we don't need taxes because people will fund important things anyway, or the idea that we don't need regulations because companies will be ethical anyway. None of that is born out of any statistics, historical precedent, or any other evidence of any kind. It's the same.
False.
And the proof of that is the 400 million people that the government killed last century.
Well,
I mean, qui custodiet ipsos custodes. Who? You can't have. I mean, somebody is going to be the ultimate authority, right? He's saying that libertarians want it to be the corporations and that they'll just check themselves. But his argument is that we need it to be, the government, and the government will just check themselves. That hasn't freaking worked either.
Well, he's also lying when he says that there isn't historic precedent for this happening, because there absolutely is. Multiple societies, Eastern, Western, Nordic cultures, all have at least one society that was built around an anarcho-primitivist or an anarcho-capitalist or a voluntarist legal model. You have... like Patricia Crone wrote a book called 9th Century Muslim Anarchist that talks about an anarchist society that sprang up after a horrible government collapsed in its own footprint. And they decided to replace cancer with nothing. Brilliant idea.
I like it.
You have in some Viking cultures, some Nordic cultures that lived, there was no centralized governmental authority. There were some cultures in Ireland that also had no centralized government authority. You also had what was the other? There was another one.
Yeah, he's actually playing to libertarianism's strength here. The libertarianism, people are generally pretty good at A, taking care of the people that need it, and B, not taking care of people who don't need it. So we're pretty good about that, and it gives people a standard up to live up to. There's certainly some people that are going to get left in the dust, but they do now too.
Oh yeah.
But what really the difficulty of libertarianism, the hard part is that it doesn't stand up very well to an aggressive, organized state that wants to take it over. Historically,
it doesn't.
People,
and that's true.
Yeah,
the 9th century Muslim anarchists. That anarchist society was defeated and destroyed by who? The Crusaders, and organized. Well, actually, kind of more like a disorganized. They just basically overran them by sheer numbers, and they came in. And also, this is a voluntarist society that doesn't have standing armies or anything like that. So, it's a peaceful society. So when angry warmongering Westerners show up talking about we're reclaiming land that was, taken 400 years ago, they weren't really ready for it because there was no standing army. And the one imperial power that did have a standing army, they were gone by the time the Crusaders ever even made it there, because it was 100. The complaints the Crusaders were invading over had been made almost 100 years before that.
All right, so I have a question. So I understand socialism is supposed to be all about the poor, right? Okay, then the question I have for you is, why is it that we're funding people that are not poor through the public education system? The public education system funds all children, regardless of the financial means of the parents.
Middle class welfare babysitting day prisons. You might add shooting galleries to that.
And now shooting gallery.
I think it's hyperbolic to add shooting galleries, but it's timely nonetheless.
Very much so.
And that's really what it comes down to is that people want babysitting services, and the government's always happy to socialize anything and drive the price up and the service down of it.
Yes. Amen to that. And in the process, the government is creating good little drones that don't question, that will literally go out and protest against their own rights.
If you're not a good little drone, come up to New Hampshire. Join us.
Right? Let's get back
I can't emphasize that enough.
Right. Well, let's get back into what this doofus has to say.
Kind of faith-based thinking as Santa is real or Ted Cruz is human and not just someone wearing a Batboy mask that got melted in a microwave. While libertarians might be anti-driver's license, anti-Medicare, and anti-public roads, the flip side of being so rigidly anti-government is that they also end up being anti-NSA, anti-interventionist, and anti-drug laws, which appeals to people on the other side of the political spectrum. In fact, the common elevator pitch for libertarianism is that while fiscally conservative, they're also socially liberal.
And I hate that. I hate that.
I just died inside.
Because what's happening is it's becoming, well, we're fiscally Republican and socially Democrat. No.
This is Gary Johnson's fault.
Yes, and it is. It's the Johnson-Weld libertarians, and they're like, well, let's rebrand libertarianism as centrism.
Well, I mean, I guess you're liberal. Well, we're liberal in the sense that we don't want to legislate it.
Yes.
Not liberal in the sense that we would necessarily put up with it personally.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of misleading.
I believe in a world where gay married couples can protect their marijuana fields with fully automatic machine guns, baby. Oh, yeah.
Yay.
That's the best.
Wait, hold on. Why do we need machine guns if weed is legal? Oh, it's the world's more dangerous? Libertarian world's more dangerous. It's more dangerous. But the socially liberal side of libertarianism is less...
So a world where you have AR-15s and more guns is now more dangerous.
Yeah, well, this guy really doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Cereal. He doesn't know crap. Okay, so there was an article called The Mild West. It was an essay that was put out, and it compared 10 towns, including Dodge City, Tombstone, and a variety of others that I can't name off the top of my head.
The ones that are known for it was a nonstop shooting gallery and murders every day.
Right, and they were a tenth those towns over a 10-year period compared to places like New York City, New Orleans,
Chicago,
Baltimore,
Chirac.
and the rest of them, and they were all less dangerous. New York was 10 times as dangerous. Baltimore was 27 times as dangerous as a combination of the Wild West towns. Yeah. And this is per capita. This is not at numbers of shootings. I understand where the liberal mind might go on this one. No, seriously, this was an academic paper, not some jackhole getting paid to do a 7-minute YouTube video.
Yeah, and make bad jokes as he goes through.
About a belief in civil rights being law, and more that civil rights are less important than property rights. Listen to Libertarian darling Senator Rand Paul explain his thoughts on the 1964 Civil Rights Act.
I love how they get Rand Paul. Like, we're talking about libertarianism, so we're going to get the guy who openly says in public over and over and over again, I am not a libertarian.
Like the Civil Rights Act in the sense that it ended discrimination in all public domains, and I'm all in favor of that.
But?
You had to ask me the but. I don't like the idea of telling private business owners. I abhor racism. I think it's a bad business.
See, there we go, and that's a real argument against in favor of freedom of association. I actually sat down. He's gotten more popular. He works for the Daily Beast. And his name's Dean Obeidallah. And I actually convinced him using that same exact argument. I just turned it around and put it in the ball in his court. Your dad owns a falafel shop. A guy walks in the door to your dad's falafel shop. He's got a t-shirt on that says, "Kill all the Muslims. I hate Islam." Your dad wants to refuse service to that man because of the shirt he's wearing, but he's not allowed to because that's discrimination. Do you think your dad should be allowed to refuse service to him for his beliefs? Well, yes, I do. Well, then you believe in the same thing that I believe. And he literally was like, I want to call you a racist, but I can't. He said those exact words. So that's how you explain these
That's
things.
the playbook.
All right, guys, stick around. Free Talk Live's coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, April 17th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.65 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,343 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,131. Antiwar.com reports expectations that the inspectors from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons would enter Douma on Monday, but this did not happen. Exactly why is a matter of serious contention. British Prime Minister Theresa May is claiming the Russians blocked the OPCW, saying that Russia and Syria are not cooperating. The Russians and Syrians are both denying this. Russia says the UN ordered the visit stopped for security reasons, and Syrian officials say they've been meeting with the OPCW delegation. It's not totally